Alright, I got this. Hey guys, welcome back. We have still Phoenix Point, despite all the updates. And this day we have, you already see, Heavy Infiltrator. But this will be a little bit complicated because I will run a little bit differently. So I'll start with what not to do and how not to spec. And this is literally, you can see already. I'll try to quick as possible explain why we are not ever building this, and then quickly show you what we will build. So logic is simple. There are some things, well, from Infiltrator we are taking for sure Vanish and Sneak attack for double damage, simple as that. That's basically the core of Infiltrator bonuses. Of course, coming along with being stealthy. But for Heavy we have Brawler, widely discussed and seems extreme, 50% more damage, and also it comes together with being in melee range, so Warcry, kind of, alright? But let me run you some numbers, because I specifically, well, lucky me, I had this dude that gives also close quarter specialist and also reckless, so basically damage output crazy enough. Let me quickly run by the numbers. So we are counting melee damage to understand if Brawler is any good. So we have 20% damage here, boost for melee weapons. 30 comes here, right? It comes together 50. Here we have another 50 damage. So together we already have plus 100 damage. And then with Sneak Attack Infiltrator, it's 200 additional damage to base damage, which means is triple the damage you can do from melee. Now let's quickly, I already unequipped because it turns out it's really bad. What's the best melee weapon? Single damage, output 140. Multiply that by 3, because you have 300 damage, you are having 420, right? You spend 2 action points and you have 420. Now the question is, now, literally, let's quickly wind back, all the same setup, all the same bonus, 100% here, 30% here, 20% here, but without this 50%, we have also a possibility to have a shotgun, right? Right. 2 action points, 2 action points. So the question basically is, let me get it straight. We have our damage done by melee weapon. Let's consider there is not a single armor on enemy, right? Just 420 with 1 hit. And question we want to ask is, how much armor enemy must have so that this shotgun would be doing less damage and we would prefer melee? You see, because melee does one big chunk of damage and then a little portion of armor is being reduced, so basically you do whole damage. Shotgun does 10 times the 40, right? For example, basic calculation, if enemy has 40 armor, you do not a single damage, there is nothing done. But let's run by the numbers. So we have 100% here and 50% here, so in total it's 2.5 times more damage than I normally do. With shotgun, it's kind of simple. This particular, it shoots 10 pellets, not bullets, I call them bullets, pellets, projectiles, whatever. And so remember, melee we had 420. If we divide that 400, because that's the breakpoint where weapon and melee switches position, which is the best. So if we divide 420 by 10 pallets, it means every single pallet must do at least 42 damage for actually this weapon to be good, right? Right. We have also 2.5 times damage increasement, so it's 40, 2 times it's 80, then half of the damage is same. Basically, we have 100 damage output for every single pellet shot out of the shotgun. And the breakpoint was we need to do at least 42 damage with every pellet, which means we can easily shoot 100 minus 42, 58. If enemy has up to 58 armor altogether, until that point, every single time, forever and ever, the point that armor rating is actually a little bit higher even, because we did not calculate in, that's not needed. You get the point. If enemy has up to, let's say, round up for 60 armor, then every single time with this such build, shotgun will do more damage. Why it is important? Just to simply prove that melee will never ever do as much damage. One. Second, for melee you need to be right next to target, right? Stand next to target. With shotgun you have this little even range ability, like you can be close but not that close, you know. So 10 out of 10 times, literally, the skill is the only one that comes with 80 and more armor than. And I think that if you run the calculations, if some of you, because this is the part what you don't want to build, right? So I believe there is not a single way how with this close quarter would benefit and do the melee. So the melee is easily out damaged by shotgun, even if we remove the reckless and others. So, and in this build you can see we could easily skip this part. And then what we see then, just bear with me, this is the melee build kind of, with all the bonuses here and bonuses here. If we are not going ever melee, then this is unnecessarily skill. Then it means from heavy we are picking up only Warcry, then literally this all build falls apart, because then the rest of it just relies on close quarter specialist and reckless basically, and of course sneak attack. So you see, analyzing and breaking down every single piece, how it builds up, which beats what. Shotgun is the better than melee, then we remove all the melee bonuses, then basically there's no need from heavy at all. Which means Heavy and Infiltrator build is never ever going to be melee. It's simple. I hope you get the point. I don't have any huge calculations and whatnot in front of you. I hope my explanation is enough for you. So when that's out of the way, we know at least two abilities we kinda will, well, at least one. The brawler is out of the question. We will not build it. The other one is something probably we will make. Now let's get to the good part. And good part is, this is the same guys I'm running all over again and again and again. And we have Heavy Infiltrator 1 and we have Infiltrator 2. And the funny part, this is the same guy. And the funny thing is, this guy actually has close quarter, reckless and strongman. So either way we could build, but never ever going to build the previous one. But what we are going to do is, just because we have unique abilities, there are two builds that you can do. Let's just quickly pick so it's easy for you to understand. From here, from Infiltrator, we're going to take Sneak and Vanish. That's absolutely you must have. And we have Rage Burst as well. Why? Because this is the core of this build. Your chance to actually shoot 5 times with reduced accuracy, that accuracy will not be as a problem as much. And let me show you what possibly you could use for this Warcry. I am simulating. We are not taking in consideration those points, but just so you can see what normally you would have. Okay, let's keep it for the moment. We have at least 10 willpower, and I will need at least 16. This is the base of the build, and from here I will. I hate when this happens. Got stuck a little bit. So what we are going to build, this is kind of sneak. This is my sneak build. It's your choosing to switch and actually use accuracy improving armor, but I think, in my honest opinion, when you're doing this build, this is the only way how and when you want to use Warcry. Warcry can be used if enemy still can't see you, you're sneaking around and you are kind of in close range, right? And when you are in close range, you don't mind having this accuracy lost. You will basically right next to, behind the wall, or really near. So that will be the case for this build. Of course, it's up for you to discussion for discussion what to pick of the armor, because if you feel like your guy can handle and can't shoot anything, then honestly, feel free to switch it out. And for this current build, we also will give. I really hate to do this. Nah, probably not. Because there's only 3 ammo. That's really sucks. Quickly I will explain why you probably never will pick crossbow. The reason is simple. You get benefit of your own, but there is nothing you can benefit from having crossbow. Because, you know, Rage Burst shoots 5 projectiles. Your crossbow has only 3 of them. It's kinda... You can do a little bit more damage, but that's too little. You know, if the crossbow could have 5 bullets in it, in the magazine, then it will be a different story. Currently, this is wasted, you will not, this is absolutely wasted with crossbow, there's nothing you can combine. So the only benefit is having heavy. What also you can do, of course, free reload, right? And I'd say we are kind of finished. Rest of the points, it's up for you to choose. If you take sneak, so this build is sneaky, you have 50% sneak bonus. I think if you mutate the legs, you have 60, and then with the base coming from Infiltrator training, you have 85, so that's pretty sneaky, right? Of course, when you start shooting, enemies will hear you, so you will need Vanish again, but this dress up kind of gives you more chance that you remain stealthed, because when you have armor absolutely not a single piece from stealth, you will be unstealthed every single time you basically do anything. So that's really, that will really drain your willpower. I already see someone typing in comment section, yes, I can see that from here, that all the reduced accuracy is really draining, and you can't shoot. And in this build, in this armor, you can shoot pretty good. This is actually pretty good accuracy, despite the fact with the reductions and everything, you can still shoot, and I tested it out extensively, so I felt confident you still can hit your targets. And remember, you have double the damage, so in this case, crazy. And then probably you will not pick Warcry, because when you are accurate and you are not stealthy, you will stay your distance, and probably never ever enemy will come in your range of Warcry when it makes sense to pick up. I would pick 15 15 is one simple reason. From all the abilities you have, of course, keep in mind that maybe you are still vanished, you can use your Rage Burst quite effectively and kill enemies. So that would be my suggestion number one, to go with Heavy Infiltrator. And second, the boy. Second option, I specifically mix them in places. So as you can see, this is already giving you indication where we are heading. Once you have Bombardier, and actually for that matter also the Strongman works as well, we are not picking up Rage Burst, which is kinda, yeah, that is skill killer and Chiron killer, so you need to have at least one such in your team. But let's go this way, and as you can see, we basically are finished. That's done. And explanation is quite simple. Even if we didn't have Bombardier, there's an option to make a Demolisher. And the thing is, Boom Blast, it obviously means only one thing. You will have Goliath as a weapon, and when you have a Goliath, you are using Boom Blast. Whenever you have Boom Blast, there is absolutely no other way. You must have mounted gun as well. Because whenever you enable Boom Blast, you shoot it without any cost and you reload it without any cost. So it means you can literally take all your missiles and put in the back. Of course, you can benefit by putting them here as well, but you see, this is basically, we are already here. And this build, let me quickly show you the differences. Here we could have fully sneaky build, then the armor gives you how much was it? 10, 20 and 20, right? 50% increased stealth. In this case, even if we keep plus 10, plus 20% stealth, our heavy armor is reducing stealth by 20%. It's literally, with this setup, we have only increased by 10%. And then we have our Infiltrator, so it evens, it comes out at something as 30%. So you are pretty visible. That's what I'm trying to explain. And you would be absolutely waste this build if you are not picking up this heavy chest and picking another Boom Blast. So basically, this setup gives you option every single turn to shoot 3 absolutely explosive, devastating explosions that have double the damage. Imagine freaking that. I would go with something like that. So this, as you can see, we are hitting the limit. Of course, there's another option. Never ever pick a heavy helmet or legs. This is not the build you want. You are sneaky one. So for accuracy, I don't think this will be it. Come on, stop. Why are you? I think you don't need also. I tested out, you kind of pretty much hit every single target you want. So accuracy is not a problem. Accuracy never was a problem in the... Well, was it? They actually in the update improved. Now your grenade launcher is kind of more accurate. So you are good to go with stealthy build, even if it gives just a little bit. So you have absolutely blasting damage, double damage, 2 times every single turn you can shoot. If you have mounted weapon loaded, it's 3 times with increased bonus. And here, Boom Blast, Boom Blast costs also pretty heavy. We have -2, so this will be 64 speed. You have also Jump Jet, of course. You have Jump Jet. Jump Jet never ever comes together with any other whenever you do a jump jet, afterwards you can only use this ridiculous mount. An option, but I'm not quite sure it will be useful, because whenever you enable Boom Blast, it gives you additional increased range. So you don't need to be somewhere, you just need to be somewhere where over your head is no roof, so you can start blasting, that's it. So the jump jet, I think, is not as needed. For this build, you will never rely on use it, you will use only the mounted weapon. So, as you can see, we have quite a lot of soldier points left, so if you feel free. In my experience, this Inspire actually was never a good idea. I will say I haven't fully understood how this damage works, because normally you have 60 damage and it's double. There's no additional damage for this particular guy, and this particular guy, I saw how he shoot a grenade, and grenade did more than, it should be capped at 120. That's absolute maximum damage he can do. He did something like 143, and with one shot absolutely took out Crabman, or in another turn Triton. And some other Crabmans, you shoot at least 2 grenades and he's still standing. So they differ in health, of course, but it also kind of, I couldn't crack the code how the hell this one grenade with double the damage could do more than 120. Was there some obstacle exploding and crashing in the net? I have no clue, but you can do more damage. It's, guys, if you have any clue, just let me down in comment section how the hell this grenade launcher with sneak attack can possibly do more damage than it should by every single theory we know. But I managed to pull it off myself. I don't see any connection how that's possible. So without that, these are the two guys. They are heavy and they are infiltrators, so double the damage either with Hell Cannon, of course you can pick any other cannon as weapon as you want, and Grenadier basically. That would be my suggestion. And the last part, of course, as always, this was really hard for unique abilities, and one of you absolutely great guys pushed to me to actually check out, I think I have it here, to check out Quarterback. And yes, this Quarterback bonus grenade range is not working together. I had wrong, I don't know where I pick it up. I had a feeling that this works together with grenade launcher. No, it doesn't. So Quarterback basically is shit. Simple as that. Quarterback is shit. So yeah, the grenades have really small blast radius. Grenade launcher has quite higher and it can shoot further. So grenades in this game is absolute joke, to be honest. So without that, we have a quick unique abilities I listed, rated as well. So Bombardier, as you can see, I build up and I love to play this guy. This guy is absolutely amazing with these 3 explosive things, absolutely leaving everyone bleeding and ripping all the possible arms and legs off. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, this is some fun. So Bombardier, absolutely rating 2. Why? Because, oh sorry, never ever. Because if you want and if you need this rage burst, then from this Bombardier that's no good. You basically want to stay stealthy, so that heavy will only make sense if you're going to boom blast. So in this case, yeah. Close quarter, as I explained in the beginning of video, no good. Shotgun melee, no, that absolutely doesn't make sense. Not for heavy, not for infiltrator. It breaks apart, no bonuses. I'm just stating by the fact. Doesn't matter if you can actually pull off some quite big damage from that shotgun. Basically, then it doesn't make any sense to pick up heavy. Then you go with infiltrator berserker. That's the only reason. My explanation, close quarter is not for this combo. All right, Sniperist, absolutely amazing. This is where it shines, where I have, I don't know if I can quickly find, I was not prepared for this part. So we are looking for Heavy Infiltrator. I should have, yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy if you have Sniperist, which means you have Rage Burst, you have double the damage, and you have possibility to use Sniper Rifle. And I have even extra willpower. So this is the absolutely crazy hitman that takes down skillless and Chirons like a piece of cake. So Sniperist, absolutely 3 points. You want at least one guy in your team with Sniperist. Or you can have also Strongman. Strongman boosts really strongly 30% your heavy, so that heavy still without sniper rifle can do quite a lot of damage if he can manage to land the shot. So that accuracy, well, kind of now comes in play. So Strongman again, 3 rating will be 3, absolutely something you're looking for this combo. Trooper, no good. The only reason how I can kind of justify is the damage and accuracy it gives, because the Rage Burst and decreased accuracy kind of gives the, well, you need that accuracy to get back, but there is no need to switch to Trooper assault rifles. I can justify picking them up. What else? Self-defense now absolutely useless because it shoots only 5 times. Previously it was, I was already there was a build sheet I was updated right before the game patch, and this PDW was great if you combine it with Rage Burst. Now only shooting 5 times, it's absolutely garbage. Only forget about it. Cautious. For this particular build, I'm willingly putting 3 here. Why? Because again, we need that accuracy for heavy. Just keep in mind, without any other unique abilities, you have heavy. Heavy is quite short range, and this accuracy boost is needed. And what even more important is you have double damage from Infiltrator, so having this minus 10% is kind of small thing in whole picture, so it is absolutely no problem to, even for me. I don't like losing damage, but this is absolutely justified, and yes, you want that. Quarterback, as I explained, you basically benefit only from speed. You will never ever pick a grenade launcher and carry even more grenades with you. Those grenades are, forget about them. So only speed. You can't justify any other any higher rating than 1.5. Biochemist, I don't need to explain how this is not even worth considering. Thief is something. Remember this guy, if you give him full sneak armor and it has Thief, this is the scenario where you can run around and shoot enemies and all the time, every time, still remain hidden. They hear you, doesn't matter, you need to be aware only of Chirons and worms. And sirens for screaming, whatever. But the idea, you get the idea. Whenever there will be Infiltrator combined with something, there is a possibility to have also Thief unique ability and have the soldier every single turn in stealth mode and just running around and shooting everyone. And that, if that's not great, I don't know what great is then. So absolutely 3, that's good. For reckless, farsighted and resourceful healer, you can see the damage that's losing even more accuracy tends to give more missed shots than landed shots, and then it's not justified. It's despite the fact I'm a big fan of increased damage and 30 50% damage, that's quite a lot. How they nerfed and now how Rage Burst works, this accuracy loss is quite too much. 50% here, 20% there. You're already shooting some really short range hell cannon. 17, it's nothing. But I will still give 2 because the damage. Farsighted, the bonus you have is willpower. When you don't have Overwatch. I have never used it with heavy, I guess. But willpower is always great. Resourceful. Truth be told, oh, not that guy, this guy. You see, I have 5 magazines I can absolutely unload, and here I have 16 explosives and 4 missiles. That's quite a lot. But if you have, okay, I will put 2.5. If you have resourceful, you can prepare and be sure that you will never run out of. So actually, yes, the strength and the carry weight will resourceful. The more I think, the higher rating I want to give, because yeah, no, it will go 3. You know why? Because let me point out one specific thing. Hell cannon you can have from the beginning of the game, and it is highest damage per shot, so it has the best benefit with Rage Burst if you consider you can land all the shots. But the problem is there's only 6 ammo capacity, which means that one leftover is no good for the next time you want to again use Rage Burst. So basically, whenever you use Rage Burst with Hell Cannon, you need to reload afterwards and then shoot Rage Burst and then reload, and basically this you will run out. Basically this is for 5 rounds, so I can see shooting 4 times Rage Burst, and then the 5th you are shooting 1 by 1 because it's pretty heavy. I can't take any. Well, I can take 1 more. But when you have resourceful, you are not limited. You basically can load more. You can pick more missiles. You see, I don't have even heal here. So yeah, resourceful will have rating 3, and healer, of course, for additional 2 willpower. Why? Because you see, now I'm already this is the kind of sweet spot, especially from this guy. If he can't kill anyone in 3 rounds, he's out of willpower. So having extra, it costs me 16, and if I have that healer or even farsighted, then it costs only 12.5. Well, you know, the cheaper is to get it through the unique abilities. So that's the build. These are the builds I am suggesting. You can see I have some spare points. One additional thing I will mention: spider drones. Why they never make ever in this build is you are heavy. You're using heavy weapons. They require 3 with upgraded version 2 action points, and spider drones will not justify 2 action point cost. You can pick infiltrator with any other support build, and then pick your sniper drones, and they are pretty heavy. So there's a lot of problems coming if you want to. Where I'm clicking, if you want to get those spider drones and deploy decoy. I was absolutely hated it so much. The decoy disappears after 1 turn. It's not like you can throw it and then keep playing and keep that one decoy. It basically is one for 1 turn. So whenever I realized that, I saw how this decoy just disappears after turn, I was like, wait, what? That's just wasted willpower. It's absolute nonsense. What? No, this is worst ability ever. And yeah, I explained already this. And surprise attack, especially when you have this awesome great hell cannon, it has already shock. A lot of shock. You don't need any more. You don't need this surprise attack. So now explained, basically those three you can forget about. They are good, don't worry, but in this build, when you have absolutely important job to do, Rage Burst, skill and Chiron's down, or even lined up Tritons or Crabmans, or Boom Blast, three absolutely amazing explosions, removing all the parts and making them bleed and terrorizing them. Yeah, Spider Drone, even if they have this explosive, they tend to explode behind obstacles and do 0 damage. So yeah, no, just no. Okay, this is my build, this is my suggestion. Any comments? Of course you have. Oh, you have comments, you have something to say, I know. And that's all welcome, because I am listening, I am reading every single one of you, I am answering, and I'd say many times you have absolutely valuable information that I somehow misjudged. For example, the same quarterback, someone was just like, yeah, by the way, that it doesn't work with grenade launcher. I'm like, it was kind, no, it's not, you're right, it's not. So those comments are always welcome. Thanks for watching, we will meet in next videos. Cheers.